Do women really want rich men? If you're a normal guy watching this, you'd probably say yes without thinking twice. But whether you believe it or not, the answer is not that simple. You see, the real answer is both yes and no. And what I mean is, yes, rich guys are perceived as attractive to women, but no, it's not because of the money that they have, or the fancy cars, or the beach houses, or any other asset, which, I mean, those things are nice, but there's a much deeper thing going on. There's an unspoken psychological reason why women say that they want rich guys. And in this video, you are going to discover what that reason is. In fact, not only am I going to explain to you what the reason is, but I'm also going to back it up with a recent scientific study that proves it to be true. So I urge you to put aside whatever beliefs you have about rich guys and women for at least the length of this video, like 9 minutes, and watch the full thing with an open mind. All right? Are you ready? Great. I'm Marni, and from here on out, I am going to be your very own personal wing girl, and every week, I'm going to give you the no BS insider information about what women really want, plus the most effective methods to win over any girl you like. So just hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a video. Here's how this video is going to play out. First, I'm going to show you a 1-minute audio clip, which is supported by a video illustration. In this clip, the famous clinical psychologist, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who you may have heard of, breaks down a scientific study they did that reveals if women actually want men with money. Findings of this study will surely surprise you. And after you watch this clip, I'm going to expand on it myself to give you my own little takes. And I'll tell you why rich men are actually perceived as attractive, why money isn't what creates attraction, and what that means for you if you want to date high quality, gorgeous women. So without any further ado, here's the clip of Dr. Peterson breaking down his recent research. Please watch it carefully as it's crucial to the rest of this video.
Women aren't after resources. That's wrong. They're after the factors that predict resources. So what we did was we showed women a bunch of pictures, say several pictures of the same guy. So there was several guys. And each guy was in 4 conditions. The photo of each guy was in 4 conditions. Same photo, right? So one guy was poor and useless. One guy was rich and useless. One guy was rich and useful. And one guy was poor and useful. So the rich, useless guy had won a lottery, and it paid out like $4,000 a month for the rest of his life. So no matter how useless he was, he couldn't squander all of it. He had resources, right? The poor, useless guy, well, we don't even have to define that. Everybody understands that. The rich, useful guy, well, that's easy to understand. The poor, useful guy worked for a non-governmental agency. It was a charity, you know, in a charitable organization. And so he had high occupational status but low income, and that wasn't likely to change. So then we asked women to rate these men on a bunch of different attributes, including personality, but also on dateability, basically, and also on probability of considering a long-term relationship with someone like this. And wealth had no main effect. The only effect was usefulness. So the poor useful guy and the rich useful guy were attractive, more attractive to the women than the 2 useless guys, regardless of their socioeconomic status.
Just in case you didn't fully understand what the experiment was, here's like a really quick recap. So they took a picture of one guy and showed it to 4 separate groups of women. The same photo, same exact guy, but for each group, they gave them a different backstory. Or they gave a different backstory for the guy. The first group was told that this picture of the guy, that he was rich but had no competence or usefulness. He simply won the lottery, and so he had a lot of money. The second group was told that the guy was poor but useful and skilled. He worked at a nonprofit and helped it grow. The third group was told the guy was poor and useless. That needs no further explanation, of course, obviously. And the final group was told the guy was rich and useful. So he had money and was a skilled or competent individual. Now they repeated the same process with the photos of several guys. And in each test, when the women were asked who they'd want to date, they either picked the version of the guy who was poor and useful or rich and useful. So the common thread being usefulness or competence, which the researchers concluded was what women were really after. The guy who's useful and competent, which I'm sure you can be. Not necessarily a guy with money, because no one picked the rich and useless guy. Now this is where I want to expand. All these years, you might have believed that women want men with money. If you don't have it, you'll have trouble with women. That's the belief. But the truth is, what's actually attractive to us is a man who's competent, a man who can get things done, a man who's skilled enough to acquire whatever resources he needs. He doesn't necessarily have to have $1 million in the bank. Now you may ask, well, Marni, then why do women say they want to date a rich guy? Well, simply put, it's because of flawed thinking. Most women, and even men, to be fair, have a bias towards rich people. Unless we're given more information, we tend to think that the more money earned equals higher competence. In fact, let me prove that to you right now. Imagine you're about to start an online business, right? And you need a freelance website developer to build you a site. You have 2 potential candidates put in front of you. And here's all you need to know about them so far. Candidate A was paid $500 for each of his last 5 projects, and candidate B was paid $10,000 for each of his last 5 projects. Now, regardless of which you can afford for your business, tell me this. Would you or would you not assume that candidate B is more competent? I'd bet even though there is 0 information about their skill level and results, like most people, you would guess candidate B has higher competence. They can do better work for you. And that's what happens when women say that they want a rich guy. It's flawed thinking, which leads to an inaccurate expression of what we actually want and what we're actually attracted to. We might say we want to date a rich guy, but what we really want is competence, not money. Maybe for some, but not all. Why exactly is that? Well, there are 2 main reasons, but before I get to that, can you do me a really quick favor? If you like this video so far, would you please hit that thumbs up button for me? It would help the video reach other guys who might need it and also make me feel really great, as a lot of effort goes into each video that I make. It takes like weeks and weeks and weeks to make a video. Just take a second and drop me a like. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now let's talk about the reasons why women are attracted to competency. Reason number 1, our primal nature. In the primal times, the cavemen were solely responsible for hunting for food and gathering and other resources. Obviously, cave women only wanted to mate with cave men who were most capable of hunting and gathering. That was their survival. It would ensure that they and their offspring could survive with minimum possible trouble. Or in any other words, they'd have a stable life, safety. Now, in today's world, things are vastly different. Women are more than capable of gathering resources by themselves, ourselves, and can easily be the main breadwinner of the family. But when it comes to who we're attracted to, things haven't really changed. We're still attracted to men based on our primal instinct, our cave woman days, which means men who seem competent and capable are still who we seek out as sexual partners. Reason number 2, the natural appeal of competence. Here's a fact about human nature. You see, every human being is fascinated by and attracted to competence. If we see that someone is good at something, we can't help but be impressed and drawn to them. This is why people worship world-class athletes, movie stars, music icons, and so on. It's not exactly because they're good-looking people with good physiques and lots of money. It's mainly because they're competent. They can do something, and more importantly, their competence is widely advertised 24/7. You see them do what they do. You read about them. You hear about them from others. You hear others talking about them. And this keeps fascination growing. On the other hand, look at movies and TV shows. 99% of your main protagonists are made to be highly competent people. For example, think of like James Bond. I know I'm going back to the old days, but think of him. First of all, he's a great spy. He's shown to be strategic, smart, and courageous. But on top of that, it's also shown that he's amazing at driving cars. He can speak like 20 different languages. He's great at chatting up the ladies. He can dance, he can fight. He's a master poker player, and probably 100 other things that I'm not even aware of. Same with other famous characters as well. Harvey Specter from Suits, Tony Stark from the Marvel movies, Don Draper from Mad Men. Whichever TV show or movie you'll look at, you'll see that the main character is made to look highly competent at something. And that's because screenwriters understand that all humans are drawn to competence. So, here's the main takeaway from this video. If you want to date beautiful women, don't worry about how much money you make. That's just a complete waste of time. For the millionth time, it does not matter. Instead, aim to be a capable and competent Man, you don't even have to be good at like 100 things like James Bond. That is just not practical, and most people are not like that. But if you can be good at your job, if you can do the basic things in life like driving and cooking, etc., maybe have a few hobbies on the side, or be able to do some handiwork like fixing or repairing stuff, because I find that so sexy, you're bound to be attractive to women. The science is in your favor. Also, speaking of things to be good at, there's actually one skill that would help you the most if you want to attract women fast and easily, and that's flirting, or in other words, the ability to ignite sexual chemistry. Unfortunately, most guys suck at flirting. They can't flirt their way out of a paper bag. It's not their fault, but as a result, they find it extremely hard to get a woman interested in them sexually. But as your personal wing girl, I can't let you be one of those guys. That's why I want to show you the most effective formula for flirting with any girl you like. This formula has been tested on thousands of women and has proven to work like magic. You just follow the formula and there's instant sexual chemistry between you and the girl that you're talking to, and it's that simple. She won't think you're creepy or cheesy. She won't think that you're trying to get into her pants. Instead, she's going to be excited and turned on by you. She's going to think, there's something about this guy. I don't know what it is, but I need to know more about him. Which basically means she'll be ready to date you and even indulge in sexual stuff with you without hesitation. So if this sounds like something that you'd want, and I know you do, obviously, click the link on your screen now or in the description box below and find out more about my simple flirting formula. You're going to be led to a very brief video where I reveal all there is to know about it, and once you watch it, you'll possess the power to spark sexual chemistry with girls of your choice at will, which means you'll be one of the very few men capable of getting dates and sexual encounters with gorgeous women on demand. So, click the link now and check out the F formula. And of course, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next week.